First, the movie was supposed to come out in June. Then it got moved to the end of October. Then in the beginning of October, it got moved to 2021. Then near the end of November, it got moved back into 2020, but this time in the middle of December. A movie with two big stars, a pretty interesting concept, and 2.5 weeks of promotion? What could possibly go wrong? What's up, everybody? I'm Johnnie Omega, back with a new review, this time talking about the new movie Fatale. So let's get to it. A married man's life turns into a living nightmare when he has a one-night stand with a manipulative woman who turns out to be a detective. So let me first start off by saying, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by, and if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. In my reviews, I like to talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and then my overall thoughts. So this movie stars Hilary Swank and Michael Ealy and is directed by Deon Taylor. So starting with what I liked about the movie, I'd say the acting was pretty good. I wouldn't consider Michael Ealy a great actor, but I will say this is one of his best performances that he's had over the last couple of years. He seems to have a current fetish for thriller roles, and it would be very easy to chalk this performance up to movies like The Perfect Guy and The Intruder, but everything else about this movie actually makes this movie better than those. Hilary Swank is the standout of this movie though, and she gives a performance that's unlike anything else she's ever done, and I think she does a really good job playing basically a psychopath. The way she plays the character and the fact that you don't really know what she's going to do, especially knowing that she has Michael Ealy's character in a compromising position, is pretty entertaining to watch. I also like the writing in this movie too, because with a basic premise, this movie could have come across very cliche. Husband has marital problems and cheats on his wife, but now wants to work it out with his wife, but the one night stand won't go away. But surprisingly and gratefully, it's more than that. There's some really interesting twists and turns that you're not gonna see coming. Admittedly, there are some twists and turns that are a little predictable if you're actively trying to figure it out, but there are some that you're not gonna see coming. And the writers did a really good job with Hilary Swank's character as far as making her more interesting, because even though she is the antagonist of the movie, she doesn't really start out that way. She doesn't really plan for any of this to happen, she just takes advantage of situations as they're presented to her, and Michael Ealy's character becomes more of a pawn in the situation than an actual victim. And I know it might sound like I'm getting a little bit into spoiler territory, but trust me, I'm not. I'm just saying that to emphasize that this movie isn't cliche. As far as what I didn't like about the movie, I would say the last 10 minutes or so was good, but it wasn't great. Once you get past the plot twist and the reasoning why everything happens, the movie pretty much wraps up the way you'd expect it to, but that doesn't really take anything away from everything that came before it. Again, it's not great, but it's still good. Another thing I didn't like about this movie doesn't have anything to do with the movie itself, it has to do with the people that's in charge of the movie, because the marketing is gonna kill this movie. I mean, granted, we are in a pandemic, and that kind of puts a movie like this behind the 8 ball anyway, but when you factor in an extreme lack of marketing and a trailer that, to be honest, really wasn't that good anyway, it's safe to say this movie's gonna flop. Honestly, I think this movie would have been better off being sold to a streaming service like Netflix, because I think most people will like this movie when they see it. It's just not gonna get much love in theaters. So in conclusion, the acting was good, the story was good, the pacing was great, and it kept me engaged the whole time. And even though there's not really anything in depth about this movie really, it still is one of those type of movies where you do need to pay attention as you're watching it, because little things that happen throughout the movie become big things as they're unveiled near the end. Hence why from a thriller aspect, the movie is pretty good. All that being said, I'd say this movie is worth a watch. So if you are one of the few people that made it out to the theaters to watch this movie, especially if you're one of the 5 people that was in the theater with me, comment below and let me know what you thought. Thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, hit that thumbs up and click that subscribe button to see what's coming next.